And hello and welcome to Scalinos Field on the campus of Cal Poly Pomona. Dave Soberi on the play-by-play. So glad you've joined us for this non-league matchup featuring the East LA Dodgers taking on, of course, the Inland Valley Pirates. We're just about set for opening pitch. We will get a little bit of a late start time as it is 5:01 right now. We were scheduled for our opening pitch at 5 o'clock, but obviously just a few moments late here for this game for the Pirates. A little bit of an unusual week just in the sense that there are no league games to be played, but there are 4 games this week, starting here with East LA, and then they go to Long Beach, and they'll play the Long Beach Legends tomorrow. That game will be at 4:30 and will be broadcast live on our air. On Thursday, they will play the Lancaster Rounders, which will also be on our air. That game will be at 5 o'clock. It was originally a doubleheader, and now will just be one game at 5. And then on Sunday, there will be an early game at 11 a.m. against the OC Halos. And that is the 4 games this week for the Pirates. We'll give you the defensive alignment for the Inland Valley Pirates as well as the starting lineup for the East LA Dodgers in just a few moments. Right now, we're getting the last few preparations for the field right now as we have Greg Espinosa putting in first base and Andrew Alvarez putting in third base right now. But we will give you the starting lineups. Here is the starting lineup for the East LA Dodgers. Leading off at short is Jarrett Sotolongo. Batting second in center field, Trevor Lancaster. The left fielder, TJ Friedman, is batting third. Giovanni Quintero. The third baseman is the cleanup hitter. Batting fifth, Andrew Bojorquez. He is at first base. Batting sixth is Cody Ramirez, the second baseman. Christian Vega, the catcher, batting seventh. Devon, the right fielder, batting 8th. Mitchell Shigo, the designated hitter, is batting 9th. And last but not least, the extra hitter is Joel Diaz. So those are the players that the East LA Dodgers will send up here. Meanwhile, this is what the defensive arrangement looks like for the Inland Valley Pirates. In left field will be Henley. In center, Bernardi. In right field, Morabito. Then going left to right across the infield, we've got Johnny Reynoso, Greg Espinosa, Kyle Jackson, Andrew Alvarez. And behind the plate will be Christian Kelly. Meanwhile, the starting pitcher for the Inland Valley Pirates will be Jordan Sheffs, as we are still awaiting opening pitch. And the Pirates now, of course, in their customary red shirts, red hats, black bills, and white pants, are lining up down the first base line, getting ready to start the week off, hopefully in right fashion and good fashion. As the East LA Dodgers also, of course, this is a team that the Pirates have previously played a few times this season. First time coming at Banning High School, where the Pirates won 10-0. And that game, obviously you score 10 runs, but really the big story was the pitching, because in that game, the Pirates struck out 17 hitters, and it was a really well-pitched game, obviously. Some of the guys that went in that game were early, who's here today, and we figured to see a little bit later on. Jack Johnson, who's also here today, and we probably will see again here today. And Kevin Glom. Those were the 3 guys that went in that game. Kevin Glom is not here today, as we are still working our way towards the first pitch here at Scalinos Field. Obviously, the Pirates come in at 19-5, so obviously already a major improvement on last season. Last season finishing 12-11-1. This season already 19-5, so a 7-win increase. And when it's all said and done, you figure that the Pirates will probably double their win total from their inaugural season. Right now, sitting in first place with a 10-4 record in league play. But the Palm Springs Power, they still have a lot of games left to play. Technically, right now, the Pirates are in first by 1.5 games on the Power, who are 5-2. Speaking of the Power, they take on the Inland Valley Buccaneers later tonight at 7 o'clock. And if we have a chance, we'll kind of do a couple live look-ins on that game, or I guess I should say live listen-ins on that game, while we have a chance in the later innings should this game go past about 7:10, because normally their games will start at about 7:05 or 7:10, not right at the dot at 7 o'clock. So we'll check on those scores and maybe even listen in a little bit later on, as now we finally have the Inland Valley Pirates taking the field here for the first time. As we mentioned, Jordan Sheffs will be the starting pitcher, 6'2", 185 pounds sophomore from UC Irvine. Of course, the Pirates and Dodgers also played in a doubleheader here at Cal Poly Pomona after that first game of the season, so they've played 3 games in total already, and the Pirates winning all 3. Pirates sweeping that doubleheader. In fact, in the first game of the doubleheader, the Pirates won 9-2, and East LA just decided that the game was over after 8 innings. Pirates not even getting their at-bat in the bottom of the 8th. They basically decided, let's just start the second game of the doubleheader. And then in the second game of the doubleheader, Pirates ended up winning. So the Pirates enjoying a 3-0 record against these East LA Dodgers this season. The Inland Valley Buccaneers will also play the Dodgers later on next Wednesday. And we are just about set as the throw from Christian Kelly will come down to the second baseman Kyle Jackson in the infield. Will throw the ball around and toss it to Jordan Sheffs. And we're ready for opening pitch here at Cal Poly Pomona as Christian Kelly runs out for a mound visit with his starting pitcher, Jordan Sheffs. It'll be interesting to see how the pitching situation is played today with the Pirates, considering there are 3 games in a row the next 3 days. And they're all non-league games, so probably don't want to, wear down any of the pitchers and have them go a lot of innings and throw a lot of pitches. We do have a little bit of breaking news, at least breaking news for our broadcast, as this first pitch hits the hitter in the left arm. That's Jarrett Sotolongo, so the first man is on base here for the East LA Dodgers. But the little bit of breaking news was yesterday in the media meetings. The pitcher of the week was named, and that is Michael Koval for the Pirates. He went 6 1/3 innings against the High Desert Heat, struck out 11, and only allowed 1 earned run. So he earned that pitcher of the week honor. Of course, Andrew Alvarez, as we have a pickoff throw over to first, who was on first base as well, was named the pitcher of the month earlier. And then he also, of course, earned the inaugural pitcher of the week at the first week of the season. This pitch misses for a ball from Jordan Sheffs to the center fielder, Trevor Lancaster. Sheffs working out of the stretch, fires, and this one misses low and in for a ball 2-0 the count. So Jordan Sheffs, 6'2", 185 from UC Irvine, where he will be a sophomore next season. Got to enjoy a trip to Omaha. The runner bluffs, and this one misses high for ball 3-0 the count. Of course, Coach Gillespie putting together another World Series team over there at UC Irvine. And this breaking pitch is in there for strike 1 at the knees, 3-1 the count. This is the second time the Anteaters made the World Series, first time under Gillespie, but Gillespie obviously a great coach at USC before that, sending them to the World Series many times. And this one misses low, and it's a 5-pitch walk drawn by Lancaster. And the first 2 men are on base here for East LA. Here comes TJ Friedman, the left fielder, wearing an unusual number 57. You don't see that number too often in baseball. Talked about Jordan Sheffs in his high school in previous outings. He went to University High School. At University, he was the MVP of the Pacific Coast League. This pitch misses high and tight for ball 1-0 the count. And was an all-CIF performer 3 years. And he holds school records for strikeouts, innings, and wins there. So one of the best players ever in university history. Breaking pitch misses low and high and in, I should say, for ball 2-0 the count. His senior year put up pretty ridiculous numbers at University, 9-2, 87 strikeouts, 80 innings pitched, 1.05 ERA, and had 6 complete games, which is maybe even the most impressive stat. Leg kick, and here's the pitch. This one's swung on. It's a little fly ball to shallow center field. Coming in is Jacob Bernardi, and he has it for the first out here in the inning. So one down, still two men on base. That's Sotolongo at second and Lancaster at first. Sotolongo was hit by a pitch, and Lancaster walked on 5 pitches. And here comes the cleanup hitter, Giovanni Quintero. He is the third baseman for the East LA Dodgers. Chefs come set. Here's the pitch. In there for strike 1, and it's 0-1. Talked about the 6 complete games in the high school level. Obviously in the high school level that's 7 innings, but still very impressive to go the full distance that many times. This one misses outside, and it's 1-1. Give you the defensive lineman again really quickly for the Pirates, since we said that at the beginning of the broadcast, and we started about 10 minutes after, just in case you didn't catch it. This is a chopper, chopper over to Johnny Reynoso, who gets it off the short hop and fires to first and retires the hitter, Giovanni Quintero, for the second out here. Both runners did advance 90 feet, so there are now 2 men in scoring position. It is Reynoso at third, Espinosa at short, Jackson at second, Alvarez at first, and Kelly behind home plate. And then meanwhile in the outfield from left to right, it's Henley, Bernardi, and Morabito. Here's Andrew Bojorquez, the first baseman. He takes strike 1 at the knees, and it's 0-1. Chefs checks the runner at third base and now fires home. And that'll be strike 2, a nice off-speed pitch that kind of baffled the hitter. Say baffled because it looked like he kind of had no idea what to do with that pitch and really couldn't offer at it. And now you have him guessing. He come with a fastball called strike 3. And so Jordan Chefs gets in a little bit of a jam, giving up the first 2 batters, hitting a batter by a pitch and also walking a hitter, and then retires the next 3 in order with a fly ball to center field, a ground out to the third baseman, and the strikeout looking. And at the end of 1/2 inning of play, it remains scoreless from Cal Poly Pomona. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the first inning. Inland Valley Pirates doing battle with East LA. Greg Espinosa is the leadoff hitter for the Pirates. Then it'll be Bernardi, Alvarez, Garlick, Johnny Reynoso, Kyle Jackson, Morabito, Kelly, Padlo, and Henley. First pitch in at the knees, called strike 1 to Greg Espinosa, and it's 0-1 to him. He's hitting .360 this season with the Pirates, which is second on the team, only to Andrew Alvarez. Here's the pitch, and this one's bounced straight back up the middle, and that will get past the diving shortstop Sotolongo for a base hit for Espinosa. And so the first man is on base in the form of Espinosa on the hit up the middle, and that's pretty much what Greg's been doing all season long, getting on base and finding a way to score. And speaking of the runs he's scored this season, he's already scored 13 runs, which is more than any Pirate scored all of last season. So he is the single-season record holder for runs scored in a season, and still looks to find a few more, and maybe even some here in this first inning. First pitch to Jacob Bernardi, called a strike, an off-speed pitch on the outside corner, and it's 0-1 to Bernardi. Bernardi is hitting .234 this season. Of course, Cal Poly Pomona Bronco, 1 of 8 on the team. Lines this one over to the right side, straight at the first baseman, Bojorquez. He fires to second, and they turn this 3-6-3 double play there, as the first baseman, Bojorquez, did a very good job of spinning and throwing over to second base, but he didn't have to, leave that far from the bag. He was only about 6-12 inches away from first base, so he covered again, and the outs were retired. Here comes Andrew Alvarez. First pitch to him is an off-speed pitch in at the knees, called strike 1, and it's 0-1 to Alvarez. He's batting .406 on the season, .447 on base percentage. 0-1, swung on and missed, and it's 0-2. So even maybe more impressive about that is in conference play, he's batting .450. So he turns it up when you get to conference games, SCCBL action. The 0-2, swung and lifted to right field and slicing foul and out of play, so we'll do another 0-2 pitch to Andrew Alvarez. Alvarez, of course, headed to Houston Baptist next season, along with his teammate Greg Espinosa. They're a D1 program in the Southland Conference. Speaking of those two, they were also teammates at Orange Coast College, where they won a state junior collegiate championship. Off-speed pitch swung on and lifted into shallow right field, and the second baseman making the catch about 5 to 8 feet deep on the outfield grass. That's Ramirez for the final out of the inning. So only one hit there for the Pirates in the bottom of the first, and they go down as it's now 0-0 at the end of one. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. We'll head to the top of the second inning in a scoreless tie between the Pirates and Dodgers. We have a new pitcher, and that is Ryan Romero. So Jordan Sheffs only goes one inning. So maybe we're going to see a lot of pitching changes in this game for Charlie Reynoso. Late kicking here is the first pitch, swung on and lifted foul and out of play behind home plate. And it's 0-1 here to Cody Ramirez. Ryan Romero has pitched 21 innings so far this inning, and this pitch is a breaking ball in the outside corner called strike 2. 0-2 the count. In those 21 innings, he has 8 strikeouts. He's 2-0. And this one is swung on and fouled out of play down the first base line, so we'll do it again. Another 0-2 to come here for Romero. Has a 1.71 ERA and a 0.81 whip. Another 0-2, and this one is a bouncer in the dirt for ball 1. 1-2 the count. Ryan Romero, 6'5", 190-pound right-handed pitcher. Plays for San Francisco State, where he will be a senior next season. The 1-2, fastball swung on and missed, strike 3, and down goes Ramirez for the first out here in the inning. Ryan Romero, one of 4 San Francisco State Gators on this team. Only 2 of the 4 are actually here today. Bryce Cherry is the other San Francisco State Gator here today, as this is a breaking pitch on the inside, called strike 1 to Christian Vega. The other 2 are Corey Davis and Escobar. And this one paints the outside corner, strike 2. So Ryan Romero looking very good here so far against his first 2 hitters, getting up 0-2 on both of them. Now he tries to blow a fastball by him, but it just misses high, and it's 1-2. That's obviously the first step there for Romero, to get ahead of the hitter and try to keep him guessing, get him off his toes. There's a little nubber towards the shortstop, Greg Espinosa. Espinosa making a nice sidearm catch, or sidearm throw, I should say. And that'll be the second out here in the inning. It was a really slow bouncer over towards the shortstop who charged. And as we said, he caught it and fired sidearm across the diamond to Alvarez for that second out there. This pitch is lifted into left field, and it'll be a line drive base hit. And that'll be the first hit of the game for the Dodgers. So East LA has their first runner on board here in the second inning. After Romero retired the first 2 hitters, Cody Ramirez on a strikeout and Christian Vega on the ground out. Called strike 1, and it's 0-1. Romero checks the runner at first, fires home, and this one is lined up the middle for a base hit. So 2 consecutive base hits for the Dodgers with 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. Here is Mitchell Shigo, the DH, and the Dodgers will bat 11 here today. So getting a few guys chances to get some cuts in this game are East LA. Romero, one of the few players on the Pirates that's not from the Southern California area, as this is called a strike at the knees, 0-1 the count. Ryan Romero is from Nampa, Idaho, and went to Columbia High School out there. Ended up being the 4A Southern Idaho Player of the Year, as this pitch misses for a ball. and it's 1-1 here. So 2 runners on and 2 outs, top of the second inning. A little bit similar to the first inning, as this one misses low for ball 2, 2-1 the count. Although in the first inning, the first 2 hitters reached base, and then Chefs retired the side after that. This one's kind of been the opposite. Romero retired the first 2 batters, and then the next 2 get on with hits. Romero checks the runner at second, no one holding him on, and this one is swung and fouled straight back at the screen, 2-2 the count. Ryan Romero was a member of a Fullerton College team that finished as the junior collegiate state runner-up a few years back. He did that his sophomore year. Fernando Escobar also on that team. Called strike 3 on the outside corner, and down goes the hitter Shigo, and that'll do it for the Dodgers here in the second inning. They get 2 on base again, but once again leave both on, and it remains a scoreless tie at the end of 1.5 innings from Cal Poly Pomona. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. To the bottom of 2 we go in a scoreless tie. Pirates and Dodgers doing battle here at Scalinos Field on the campus of Cal Poly Pomona. Dave Silveri, so glad you've joined us here for this non-league matchup. Kyle Garlick is in as the cleanup hitter takes strike 1 on the inside corner, 0-1 the count. John Anderson is still the pitcher for East LA. He's from East LA Junior College. Leg kicking here is the pitch, and this one is bounced to the left side. 2-hopper over to the shortstop Soto Longo, and he fires to first for the first out here in the inning. So Garlick is retired. Garlick, one of the newest members of the Pirates. Before that at bat was 6 for 11. So now falling to 6 for 12 is 500 on the season. Here comes Johnny Reynoso. Reynoso hitting .333, 423 on base percentage, and 6 RBIs and 9 runs scored so far this season for the Pirates. Left-handed hitter against the left-handed pitcher. Called strike 1, 0-1 the count. Johnny Reynoso heading to West Texas A&M this fall. Very good deep 2 program. And this one misses for ball 1, 1-1 the count. They were only 2 wins away from making the D2 World Series this past season. So Johnny Reynoso hoping that he might be the missing piece to help get them over the hump. This is a ball lifted into shallow center field and will fall for a base hit for Reynoso. That'll be the second base hit of the game for the Pirates. Greg Espinosa led the game off with a single, and then on a double play was caught out at second base on a ground ball hit by Jacob Bernardi. Here comes Kyle Jackson. Kyle Jackson, the second baseman today. He was one of 4 All-Stars with the Pirates last season. Last season hitting .340. Here's the pitch, and this one is cracked foul down the third base line, jumped way out in front of it. Did number 10 Kyle Jackson. That ball that Johnny Reynoso hit up the middle, it was such a slow off-speed pitch, and he kind of held up on it and just lifted it out into center field over the heads of the middle infielders, and that's all you have to do. Just place it to where the fielders are not. Another really slow off-speed pitch misses low for a ball here to Kyle Jackson. Jackson playing, of course, for Chaffey College, 6'1", 205 right-handed hitter. This past season, though, he didn't get to play because he broke his wrist. So he sat out the season. Reynoso's off with the pitch, and this one is swung on and fouled down the right field line and out of play. Well, that's a good point right there if you think about it, as we were talking about how slow these off-speed pitches are from the pitcher John Anderson. You feel like the Pirates maybe really should be able to take advantage of that in the form of stolen bases here. 1-2 the count to Kyle Jackson. Anderson comes set, fires home, swung on, and this one is a fly ball, foul, and nobody can get to it. So we'll do it again. Another 1-2 pitch to come here to Jackson. Looked like it could have been potentially catchable, but first baseman Bojorquez couldn't get there on time. Kyle Jackson, hometown is Claremont and went to Claremont High School. A lot of guys, of course, from the Inland Empire area are from there close by. Here's another 1-2, and this one's in the dirt and gets by the catcher, and Johnny Reynosa will move up 90 feet in the second base. So the Pirates have their first man in scoring position on the day after a wild pitch from John Anderson, although it was a ball that probably should have been blocked by the catcher Vega. But anytime the ball goes in the dirt, they usually rule those wild pitches. So it's now 2-2 the count here for number 2-2 on the Dodgers. Anderson checks the runner at second, nobody holding him on, and comes inside for ball 3, 3-2 the count. Full count here for Jackson. Jackson at Chaffey College, his first season as a freshman, put up very, very good numbers, 370 batting average, and was a first-team All-Foothill Conference selection. This one is swung on and lifted foul and out of play down the first base line. So a marathon at bat ensuing here between Anderson and, of course, Jackson, as Jackson has protected the plate to perfection. Also showing good eye and good discipline because he was down in the count, 1-2, and working it back to full. Here's the full count offering, swung, and this is a fly ball lifted into straightaway left field. Left fielder looked like he was struggling a little bit with where it was, but does make the catch. It is Friedman for the second out here in the inning. Here comes Alec Morabito. Alec Morabito, one of 17 returning Pirates players. Left-handed hitter, 6'0", 170 pounds from Cal Baptist, where he will be a junior next season. On deck is Christian Kelly, and in the hole is Jason Padlow. Should either one of them get on base here. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung and hit right back at the pitcher, and it deflected off his ankle and over to the shortstop, and he makes the play for the final out of the inning. So good job by Sotolongo there as he makes that out to retire the side here for the Pirates. And at the end of 2 innings of play, it remains scoreless between the Dodgers and Pirates. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. We'll head to the top of the 3rd inning. No score yet between the Pirates and Dodgers. Dodgers will have the last hitter in the lineup, Joel Diaz, up first, and then the top of the order, Sotolongo and Lancaster. Said before the game that the Dodgers are actually hitting 11, so this is the number 11 spot in the lineup. First pitch is a fastball that misses high for ball 1 here for Ryan Romero. So Romero will remain on the mound for at least one more inning, as this breaking pitch misses low and away for ball 2, 2-0 the count. No score here in this non-conference matchup, as this one misses high and in. It's now 3-0. And that's something that in the first inning that Romero pitched, which was actually the second inning overall, he got ahead of pretty much all the hitters he faced and now falls behind 3-0 against this first hitter in the 3rd inning. This is called a strike right down Broadway, and taking all the way was Diaz. Here's the 3-1. Fastball cracked through the left side hole for a base hit. So the Dodgers get their leadoff man on board, and now Diaz turns it over to the top of the lineup, and Sotolongo, Lancaster, and Friedman. Well, the Dodgers, they've had 3 hits now in these 2 innings that Ryan Romero has been pitching. In fact, the Dodgers have left 2 on base in the first and second inning. And actually, if you remember back the first time these 2 teams played, back, I believe it was the first or second game. It was the second game of the season, or the second day of the season, actually, because the first day of the season, the Pirates swept the Buccaneers in a doubleheader. So it was the 3rd game for the Pirates. If you remember that game, even though it was 10-0, the Dodgers left a lot of men on base. In fact, in the first 3 innings of that game, they left the bases loaded in the first and the third, and they also left 1 on in the second. So they had left 7 men on base in 3 innings. Here's the pitch. Fastball in there on the outside corner for a called strike for Romero. Romero checks the runner at first and nods his head in approval at Christian Kelly's signs and fires strike 2. And it's 0-2. Once again, getting ahead of a hitter here is Ryan Romero. This is Jarrett Sotolongo. who was hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance, so no official at bat yet. Ramirez, pickoff throw over to first, not in time. Getting dirty over there, sliding head first was Joel Diaz. Here's the pitch. And this one is bounced over towards the shortstop, Espinosa. He flips to Jackson, and Jackson fires to Alvarez for the 6-4-3 double play. So the second double play we've seen in the game, one for the Pirates and one for the Dodgers. And that one was pretty much a tailor-made double play, as it was a two-chopper hit pretty much directly right at Espinosa. Espinosa flipping to Jackson, and Jackson, of course, completing and turning the double play over to Alvarez. Here's Trevor Lancaster. Lancaster, in his first plate appearance, walked. Breaking pitch in there for strike one, and it's 0-1 here. And that's what we're talking about when you see Ryan Romero pitch. It's all about, can he get ahead of the hitter? And it's now 0-2. The first hitter, you fall behind 3-0, and he ends up getting a hit. Second hitter in the inning, you get ahead 0-2, and he grounds into a double play. And now this hitter, you're up 0-2 again. Let's see what happens for Romero. This one is swung on and fouled out of play down the first base line, and we'll do it again. Another 0-2 pitch to come. Speaking about pitching, we got to talk about this in the next inning if Anderson's back out there for the Dodgers, because he wears number 22 and he plays for the Dodgers, and he's a lefty. Fastball paints the outside corner, called strike three, and down goes Lancaster. So we're talking about it. When he gets ahead of the hitters, he's pretty hard to face, is Ryan Romero. But when he falls behind, that's when he finds himself in a little bit of trouble. But we'll talk more about the pitcher for the Dodgers in the next inning as he's pitching, because he tries to, I guess, draw a lot of similarities to Clayton Kershaw, who you obviously figure that must be his favorite player, because not only is he a left-handed pitcher, but he's on the Dodgers and he wears number 22. And we'll return in the bottom of the third inning in a scoreless game between the Pirates and Dodgers. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the third inning here at Cal Poly Pomona for this non-league matchup between the Pirates and Dodgers. First pitch is called strike one in there to Christian Kelly, and it's 0-1 to Kelly. Kelly, .312 on the season, .358 on base percentage. And he lines this one straight towards the third baseman on the one-hop. Quintero fields cleanly and fires across the diamond to retire Kelly. And that'll be the first out here in the third inning. Here comes Jason Padlow. But we were talking about this at the end of the last half inning, that this pitcher, John Anderson, for the Dodgers, he's a left-handed pitcher. He wears the same number as Kershaw. He even brings the glove and ball back kind of like Kershaw. But after that, that's where all the similarities stop, because he does not really look like he has a great fastball, as this one misses inside for ball one to Padlow. Particularly when he's working out of the stretch, we're talking about how he brings the glove and ball up, as this one's called strike one, and it's 1-1 here to Jason. If I'm not mistaken, this is a pitcher who definitely went against the Pirates last year in a game that we broadcast on the SECBL website. This one misses low for ball two, 2-1 the count. Jason Padlow, 5'11", 200, right-handed hitter. Takes inside, strike two, 2-2 the count. Season Padlow is hitting .240. Of course, another one of the 8 Broncos from Cal Poly Pomona on this Pirate team. Takes outside for ball three, full count here, so payoff pitch to come for Padlow. Padlow, from a very good baseball family, good baseball background. Late kick in, here's the pitch. Fastball in the dirt, 59-footer, and Padlow will draw the walk here, so that'll be the first base runner of the third inning for the Pirates. As Nolan Henley comes up, he is the last hitter in the lineup here for this game. The reason we were just talking about Padlow having a good baseball family is that his grandfather and father both played in minor leagues, and now his younger brother also is doing the same. Here is Nolan Henley. Henley, the left fielder today from, of course, University of Laverne. Right-handed hitter, left-handed pitcher. Called strike one, 0-1 the count. Henley was looking like he wanted to maybe lay one down, Although there is one out already, so you don't think that it's really a sacrifice situation here. The third baseman is playing on the edge of the infield grass and now comes on the grass as Henley was squaring around and now lets it go for ball one, a breaking pitch that misses low, and it's 1-1. We talked kind of about, I can't remember exactly who was doing it, but it was either, obviously it was either the Pirates or the Buccaneers, but somebody was kind of trying to slash hit earlier in the week, which is what you see out of softball. This is going to be a off-speed pitch outside, ball 2, 2-1 the count. And what I mean by slash hitting is you show bunt and then you bring the bat back and then you try to swing and kind of just bounce it past the infielders who have been drawn in by the fact that you're showing bunt. Here's the 2-1. Padlo off with the pitch. This one's grounded right back up at the middle. Shortstop makes the catch and throws to first, and he will retire Nolan Henley there. And actually, I guess it must have been a double play because that'll do it for the inning. I didn't think the shortstop stepped on the bag at second base, but he must have stepped on second before throwing it. So that'll be another ground ball double play, the second in 3 innings for the Pirates. We'll head to the top of the 4th inning with a scoreless game between the Pirates and Dodgers. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. To the top of 4 we go in a scoreless game, Pirates and Dodgers. Ryan Romero remains on the mound. First pitch he throws is swung on and lifted into shallow right field. Alec Morabito makes the one-handed grab out there, maybe about 10 or 15 feet away from the infield dirt. He was very close to the infield. I think Kyle Jackson might have been laughing a little bit because he might have lost it a bit in the sun. But Morabito hustling in and making the grab for the first out here in the 4th inning. So that was Friedman, the number 3 hitter, that goes down with his second fly ball to the outfield. And now here comes Giovanni Quintero, the third baseman. He takes ball 1 low, 1-0 the count. He is 0 for 1. Grounded out to the third baseman, Johnny Reynoso, on a play that Reynoso really made a good play. Another high chopper. This one hit up the middle. Greg Espinosa making another nice play at shortstop, catching the ball on the second base side and firing a dart over there to first base, and Andrew Alvarez for the second out here. But once again, and you think about it, really what Romero has been doing and what he's been doing so successfully in this game is jumping ahead of the hitters and giving them really no chance to kind of dig their teeth into something. Here's Andrew Bojorquez, and he takes strike 1. And it's now 0-1 here for Ryan Romero. We talked about Romero, and he's really kind of gone under the radar this season. Swung on and missed, strike 2. Nowhere near the pitch was Bojorquez's bat on that one. That was a filthy off-speed pitch. Here's the 0-2, and this one is lined through the right side over to Morabito. Morabito might throw him out. Yes! We have Morabito throwing out the hitter at first base. So that is the very rare 9-3 putout right there, and that will retire the side in order. And we talked about Morabito, who really has been showing some good hustle out in right field, but also maybe playing a bit shallow out there in right field. And clearly the base runner was not the fastest, but still very impressive play for Morabito to gun somebody out in right field. And so that'll do it here for the 4th inning. The side is retired in order by Romero. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th in a scoreless tie between the Pirates and Dodgers. And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Still no score between the Pirates and Dodgers. Here comes the leadoff hitter, Greg Espinosa, who's 1 for 1 today with a single. He takes upstairs for ball 1, 1-0 the count. Well, we mentioned it earlier, Greg Espinosa with 13 runs leading the team in that category. Fouls this one's back straight towards me. And it's 1-1 here as the on-deck batter, Jacob Bernardi, will pick up the loose baseball. Here's the 1-1 from Anderson. This one is swung on and lifted to right field foul. And out of play, 1-2 the count. Well, it's interesting because we talked about Anderson, and normally when you talk about crafty lefties, they come up with a few different pitches, and that's what he's doing here today. He's got a really slow off-speed arsenal. And here comes the 1-2. Another high hanging breaking ball that's out of the zone, and it's 2-2. But this is a type of pitcher that might kind of ruin your timing against other pitchers. Here's the 2-2. And this one is lined in the center field. The center fielder will make the catch for the first out here in the 4th inning. And the ball was lined out to center field, but hit maybe 10 feet to the left of Lancaster, who ran over there and made the catch. And here comes Bernardi. Jacob Bernardi is 0 for 1, grounded out into a double play back in the 1st inning. Here's the pitch, and that's strike 1 to Bernardi, 0-1 the count. Bernardi, 6'2", 190, right-handed hitter. Bounces this one up the middle. Will it get through? Yes, it gets through the diving glove of the second baseman Ramirez. So that'll be a base hit for Bernardi. Here comes Andrew Alvarez. Alvarez 0 for 1. Flew out to the second baseman in his first at bat. Of course, Alvarez started his career at Pepperdine before going to Orange Coast College, and now finally finding a home at Houston Baptist. Here's the pitch, and he swings at the first one and lifts a towering fly ball into the shallow left field. Catch is made by the shortstop Soto Longo for the second out here of the inning. At first it looked like maybe Soto Longo couldn't locate the ball the way he had his arms out, but I guess that's just how he was calling for the ball and telling, nobody else, calling the third baseman and the left fielder off there. So now 2 away here in the bottom of the 4th inning, and Kyle Garlick at the plate. He's 0 for 1 in this game, and 6 for 12 so far on the season. Right-handed hitter from the University of Oregon, as this one misses low and inside for ball 1. 1-0 the count. On deck is Johnny Reynoso, and in the hole Kyle Jackson, should we get that far. Here's the pitch, and this one misses low for ball 2. 2-0 the count. Well, I was talking about it a little bit earlier. You kind of hope that facing a pitcher like this doesn't throw your timing off for the next pitchers, because he's just so different and so, I guess, unique, you might say, in the sense that he's really not throwing any fastballs at all. Runners off of the pitch. That's Bernardi, and this one is chopped to the left side by Garlick, the third baseman checking at second before firing to first to retire Garlick. And that will do it here for the 4th inning. And this game is moving pretty rapidly. At the end of 4, it remains 0-0 between the Pirates and Dodgers. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. We'll head to the top of the 5th inning, still scoreless between the Pirates and Dodgers. First hitter for the Dodgers in this inning will be Cody Ramirez, who lifts the first pitch he sees in the right field. Heading back and making the catch is Alec Morabito, who's had a very busy day out there in right field. A couple of fly ball catches and also an assist. Threw a runner out at first base. In fact, that was the last man who was retired in the last half inning, Andrew Bojorquez. In fact, actually, 3 of the last 4 outs were made out there by the right fielder Morabito. Here is Christian Vega. He's 0 for 1, grounded out to the shortstop. And this one misses low for ball 1. The shortstop, of course, Espinosa. Ryan Romero still towing the rubber for the Pirates. Came in the 2nd inning. Fastball low and away. Ball 2. 2-0 the count. We were starting to say that in the last inning, he's kind of gone under the radar as number 25. Just in the sense that this fastball, though, misses high and inside for ball 3. 3-0 the count. Just in the sense that you talked about Andrew Alvarez being the pitcher of the month and Michael Koval being the pitcher of the week. And it's a 4-pitch walk, and in fact, that might have even hit the hitter. And so that'll be the first man on base here in the 5th inning in the form of Christian Vega, who draws the 4-pitch walk. But really, you look at the numbers that Romero's put up. He's 2-0 in 21 innings pitched, 1.71 ERA, and a 0.81 whip. And the whip, of course, is a walks and hits per innings pitch. So that means he's giving up less than 1 walk and hit per inning pitched before coming into today. First pitch in there, called strike 1, 0-1 the count here to Devon. Devon is 1 for 1 with a single. Pickoff throw over to first, not in time here for Ryan Romero. Well, we talked about it. You don't want to sound like a broken record. Called strike, throw down to second, and they got him. Yes, they did. There was a little bit of a delay in the call by the umpire, but pretty much any time Christian Kelly throws the ball down to second base, you can assume that he threw the runner out. And that's exactly what he did right there as Vega is caught stealing. And Christian Kelly, and really the runner Vega had a really good jump as well, but Christian Kelly getting up out of the crouch and making the throw down to second base in time to retire him. And that'll be a ball, 58-footer by Romero, 1-2 the count. The pitch that was thrown by Kelly down to second base was called a strike. So here comes the 1-2. And this is called strike 3 on the outside corner. And Ryan Romero has looked very, very good since entering in the second inning. As the Dodgers are once again retired here in the top of the 5th. We are halfway through this baseball game. And this game started at about 5:10, and it's not even 6 o'clock here. Well, we'll head to the bottom of the 5th in a scoreless tie between the Pirates and Dodgers. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back. Dave Sobera on the play-by-play. So glad you've joined us for this non-league matchup, Pirates and Dodgers. Here comes Johnny Reynoso, number 5, to lead things off here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Still waiting for our first run. And he sends a fly ball into deep left center field. And calling for it out there is the left fielder, Friedman, to retire Reynoso. So 1 pitch and 1 out here for the Pirates in the bottom of the 5th inning. And we talked about it. This game is just going by so rapidly, so quickly. And I guess that makes a lot of sense when no one has scored yet. But we talked about it. The game pretty much didn't start till 5:10. And at 6 o'clock, you're already in the bottom of the 5th inning. This one misses low for ball 1 to Kyle Jackson. Kyle Jackson 0 for 1 with a fly out to the left fielder. If you remember, his first at-bat was a marathon at-bat. Certainly an epic at-bat, but just couldn't come through with a hit. Fouls this ball off down the third base line. And it's 1-1 here to Jackson. Kyle Jackson's certainly a guy that you look at, and he's another guy that you think about as a baseball lifer, as this one misses inside, and it's 2-1. Sounds like he's always talking about something or somebody in the MLB game, something that went on. Here's the pitch, and this one misses upstairs for ball 3, 3-1 the count. So this might be a nice pitch right here for Jackson to take advantage of. Maybe sit dead red on a fastball, although we talked about that. John Anderson really doesn't throw a fastball, but he comes with a fastball here, and this one is lined out in the left field for a base hit by Jackson. And up comes Alec Morabito. Well, for the Pirates, they've actually had a man on base every single inning here in the first 5 innings now. But a couple innings, grounding out into double plays, that, of course, didn't help potential rallies. In fact, doing that in the 3rd inning and the 1st inning, hoping that it won't stay true here in an odd number. Off of the pitch is Kyle Jackson. He slides safely into second base head first with a stolen base. And so now there's a runner in scoring position here for the Pirates. Only the second person today to make it in the scoring position. The first was Johnny Reynoso back in the 2nd inning. Reynoso singled and then reached second on a wild pitch. Alec Morabito would like to take advantage of this situation here with the runner in scoring position. Here's the 0-1, and this is low and away, ball 1, 1-1 the count. So 1 out, bottom of the 5th inning, and a man on second base. That, of course, is Kyle Jackson, who lined the base hit in the left field. Here's the pitch, and this one misses high for ball 2, so 2-1 to number 2-1, Morabito. Remember talking to him a little bit earlier in the season, wearing number 21. A lot of the players said just call him Blackjack. Of course, when you get 21 in Blackjack, you win. You hit the jackpot, I guess. This is low and away, and it gets past the catcher. And moving up 90 feet in the third base is Kyle Jackson. So Kyle Jackson advancing on the wild pitch. Meanwhile, Morabito now will see a 3-1 count, which is the same count that Jackson lined out in the left field. You can't say enough, though, about the job that Jackson did to read that ball in the dirt, because really the ball didn't bounce that far away from the catcher Vega. Vega actually blocked it, and it went down the third base line a little bit, but the fact that Jackson read that so well, and this is lined into right field, so another 3-1 single out there, but this time this produces a run, and in comes Jackson to score, and it's 1-0 Pirates here in the bottom of the fifth. So 2 3-1 fastballs, both resulting in singles. One, of course, by Kyle Jackson, and now this one by Alec Morabito, who also gets the RBI to go along with his single. Here comes Christian Kelly. Speaking of RBIs, Christian Kelly is actually leading the team with 10. Runners off with the pitch. This is an off-speed pitch that misses high for a ball, and that will be a stolen base for Morabito. And we were talking about this in the last inning, the fact that this pitcher Anderson has very, very slow stuff, very slow off-speed stuff. So he might be easy to steal on. And the Pirates now with their second stolen bag in the inning. Attempting a pickoff throw, but Morabito stays up on his feet, and Anderson doesn't even throw over there to second base. The Pirates hoping for another run to score here. They have one in the inning. And this is lined to the left side, straight at the third baseman, who made just a reaction grab. Actually, kind of originally didn't catch it, but caught it off because it basically hit off his wrist because it was hit directly at him. Charlie Reynoso down the third base line is laughing a little bit at the fact that that's one of those baseballs that catches you. You don't necessarily catch it. It catches you. And maybe he's showing Charlie a war scar, as we mentioned, that hitting him like in the left arm. This one is grounded right back towards the third baseman through the hole on the left side. Rounding third and coming home is Alec Morabito. The throw to the plate is in time, but the catcher can't field it, and Morabito scores. Heading into third base now is Jason Padlow after the ball gets away. And so it's now 2-0 Pirates on top after the RBI single by Jason Padlow. And then Padlow advancing all the way to third as the ball got by the catcher. So that would definitely have to be an error on the catcher. The throw was pretty much a perfect one-hopper back to the catcher from Friedman, the left fielder. And he just couldn't field it. And so one run scores, and as we mentioned, Padlow advancing an extra 2 bases on that. And here's Nolan Henley. Henley 0 for 1, grounded out to a double play in his first at-bat. There's a breaking ball in the dirt. Nice block out there by Vega, the catcher, and it's 1-0. So the Pirates getting 2 runs here in the 5th inning. They lead 2-0. After nobody had anything really going before that. Although we mentioned the Pirates did have a runner on base every single inning before this one. Called strike 1, 1-1 the count to Henley. You look at Nolan Henley and you think that he's certainly one of the speedier players on this team. Shows off those jets out there in left field as well as when he's hitting. Another breaking pitch in the dirt. Another good job by Vega to make sure that another run didn't come in, and it's 2-1. Nolan Henley is a business administration major. Well, I'm sure he's hoping to go about his business right here and drive in a run in the form of Jason Padlow, who's just 90 feet away from making this a 3-0 ball game. Leg kick, and here's the pitch. And this one comes inside, called strike 2, 2-2 the count to Henley. We look at Henley, and he's certainly batting in the last spot today. Of course, he's a leadoff type of hitter. Pretty much we're going to put him in that last spot or the first spot. Very disciplined hitter. Bounces this one to the third baseman. Quintero has it deep over there. And Henley, oh, he's called out. And there's some yelling from the dugout who thought he beat it out. I was just about to say, we were just talking about how fast he is, and I thought he beat that out for an infield hit, and that would have also been an RBI for him if he was called safe, but the umpire says he's out, and so that is obviously the final decision there. But the Pirates do get 2 runs in the inning on 3 base hits. The 3 hits by Jackson, Moore, Beto, and Padlo. We'll head to the top of the 6th inning in a 2-0 game. Pirates on top. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the top of the 6th inning. 2-0 the score. Pirates on top. First pitch from Romero misses high and away for ball 1. 1-0 the count here to Cordondo. Cordondo is 1 for 1 with a single. This one's high and away. Ball 2. 2-0 the count. This is the first of 3 consecutive days where the Pirates will play. All non-league games, though, and this one is in there for strike 1, 2-1 the count. The game tomorrow is the final road game of the season, or at least of the regular season. This one is foul tip back at the screen here behind home plate, and it's 2-2. That game actually has a 4:30 start time, so 30 minutes earlier than normal. Of course, the Cal Poly Pomona starts always at 5. This one is bounced to Hopper over towards the right side, and the second baseman Jackson, who slings it over to Alvarez for the first out here of the inning. Ryan Romero has been cruising ever since entering in the 2nd inning. In fact, Romero has 4 strikeouts since starting in the 2nd inning, no runs allowed. And it looks like all of a sudden Charlie Reynoso has seen enough from Romero and will take out Ryan and put in his son, Aaron. Well, it's interesting that Ryan Romero even came out for this next inning. If he retires the first hitter he sees, and then he gets replaced for Aaron, but maybe it's just sort of a pitch count, and he was looking for a specific pitch count with Romero and decided that that was enough pitches for the day, and here comes Aaron. And we'll step away for a few moments as Aaron warms up here in the top of the 6th inning. 2-0 the score. Pirates on top of the Dodgers. And welcome back, still in the top of the 6th inning. It is now Aaron Reynoso who's come on for Ryan Romero. Actually, Jordan Shefts was the one who started the game and only tossed 1 inning. And then Ryan Romero going 4 1/3 before Aaron Reynoso comes in this situation. First pitch is swung on and missed for strike 1 here for Mitchell Shigo. Shigo 0 for 1 with a strikeout looking. In those 4 1/3 innings, Romero had 4 strikeouts and allowed no runs, and is the pitcher of record. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. Well, maybe Charlie just wanted to make sure that Ryan Romero was the pitcher of record. This season he is 2-0, so should this result hold up, he will improve that record to 3-0. Here's the pitch from Reynoso, swung on and fouled behind home plate. So another 2-strike count to come for Mitchell Shigo going against Aaron Reynoso. Reynoso 5'10", 205, right-handed pitcher from Cal Poly Pomona. He'll be graduating from Cal Poly very shortly. Swung on and missed, strike 3, down goes Shigo, and that's the 2nd out of the inning. Reynoso had a long streak of no earned runs allowed. That streak came to an end recently, within the last week. Here's Joel Diaz. Diaz is 1 for 1. He is the number 11 hitter in the lineup and singled back in the 3rd inning. He is only at bat of the day. This one's called strike 1, 0-1 the count. Not the largest of guys, probably, if not the smallest, one of the smaller guys out there on the field here today. But he did come up with that hit. Obviously, there's a reason why he's in the lineup for the Dodgers. This one misses low for a ball. So here comes Diaz with 2 outs in the 6th inning, and then back to the top of the lineup for the Dodgers. Reynoso fires. Fastball, low for a ball. 2-1 the count. Aaron Reynoso is a business administration major here at Cal Poly and aspires to work in the front office of a baseball organization once his baseball playing days are over. Here's the 2-1. Inside, ball 3, 3-1 the count. Of course, Aaron Reynoso is the son of the manager, Charlie, and his brother, Johnny, is playing at the hot corner at third base. Also his cousin, Matthew, on the team as well. Fastball, pretty much right down Broadway, but it was a 3-1 count. It's pretty surprising that Diaz wasn't thinking at offering at that pitch, and now it's a full count here. Reynoso setting the stretch. Likes what he sees from Kelly Signs. Fires, called strike 3 on the inside corner. And down goes Diaz. So Aaron Reynoso comes in and strikes out both hitters he faces here in the 6th inning. And the Pirates continue to lead 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning. 2-0 the score. Pirates on top. Greg Espinosa set to lead off his 3rd inning of the day. Swings the first pitch he sees and fouls it straight back at the screen. In the 1st inning, he led off with a single. In the 4th inning, he led off and flew out to center field, so he is 1 for 2 here in this game. Is Espinosa. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and lifted into deep center field. The center fielder will make the catch. And a nice play made out there by Lancaster, and that is the first out here of the bottom of the 6th. That was another line drive out to center field by Espinosa. Hitting the ball well, but in this scenario, just hitting it straight kind of at the center fielder, who did make a nice play to kind of sprint and open up at a 180-degree angle and basically just sprint and make the catch over his shoulder. As this pitch misses for ball 1 here to Virgin. So this will be the first replacement. Virgin is now in for Jacob Bernardi, and we'll have Bryce Cherry coming up next here for Andrew Alvarez. This one's fouled out of play behind home plate by Virgin. And this is Nathan Virgin, I should say. 6-0, or 6-0, 180. Here's the pitch. Swings on this one and fouls it down the first base line. So he's going to have to protect here with a 2-strike count. So Bernardi's day is done. Bernardi will finish 1 for 2. As we mentioned, it'll be Bryce Cherry coming in for Andrew Alvarez after this. This one's in the dirt. 2-2 the count here to Nathan Virgin. Virgin heading to Cal State Monterey Bay next season, where he will be a junior. Before that, playing for Citrus College, and was a second-team all-conference selection this past season with Citrus. Slow off-speed pitch, swung on and fouled back at the screen. Really good job by Virgin to protect the plate on that one, because it may have been a bit out of the zone, but on a 2-strike pitch, you just want to make sure that the home plate umpire won't ring you up. Just to make contact with that was good job, as this one misses low for ball 3. And it's now a full count here to Nathan Virgin. We talked a lot about, there's a lot of guys between both the Pirates and the Buccaneers that at one point played for Citrus or even currently play for Citrus, and Virgin is one of them. Two-hopper over towards the shortstop, Sotolongo, and he makes the play to first for the second out here in the inning. It's 2 up and 2 down in this inning as Bryce Cherry comes to the plate. We actually had home plate umpire telling us that there was a new player in, which is a welcome thing right there, because so many times you don't see the home plate umpire acknowledge that there's a new hitter. And obviously we picked it up when he was in the on-deck circle, but it's something that really helps everybody out when you know that there's a new hitter at the plate. Bryce Cherry, high fly ball, slicing down the left field line, covering a lot of ground and making the catch out there is the left fielder Freeman. So the side is retired in order here in the 6th inning, and the Dodgers are still trailing the Pirates 2-0 as we head to the top of the 7th. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Welcome back to the top of 7 we go. 2-0 the score, Pirates on top. We have a lot of changes out in the field. We will get you updated on that right after this first pitch here from Aaron Reynoso going into the leadoff hitter Jarrett Sotolongo. First pitch is an off-speed pitch in there for strike 1 on the inside corner, and it's 0-1. Now in center field is Nathan Virgin. In right field is Bryce Cherry. As Reynoso comes set, working in the stretch. Fires. This one is swung on and lifted into shallow left field to Nolan Henley, who makes the catch. The one-handed grab at that for the first out of the inning. Nolan Henley, one of the few players who remains in here for the Pirates that started the game. Meanwhile, now at third base is Anthony Virgin. Espinosa still at short. Varela is in at second base. Morbido shifting from right field to first. Lowenstein now behind the plate for Kelly. So those are all the changes out there in the field for the Pirates. Swung on and missed. Strike 1. 0-1 the count here to Lancaster. Lancaster 0 for 1. Struck out in the third and walked back in the first inning. He was way out ahead of that last pitch from Reynoso. Here's the 0-1. This one misses low for ball 1. 1-1 the count. Aaron Reynoso. Hometown, Upland. Went to Western Christian High School, where he was a second-team All-League performer with them. Takes a lot of pride in setting up the field as his fastball misses low and away for ball. And does a very, very good job at preparing the field as well. Here's the pitch. Swung on, line drive in the left field. Nolan Henley comes in on it and makes the catch. So 2 up and 2 down, both flying out to left field, and Nolan Henley. Henley coming in maybe 4 or 5 feet on a line drive. And it looks like we might have another pitching change here in the middle of an inning, as Charlie Reynoso is laughing about something. Maybe the fact that he's just taking guys out in the middle of innings. And this time taking out his son Aaron. And in comes Jack Johnson. So it's a little bit interesting just in the sense that we're not exactly sure why he's doing this in the middle of innings as opposed to allowing pitchers to start their own innings off. But this will be like starting your own inning off in some sense for Jack Johnson, just because there's nobody on base. And we will let Jack get his warm-up pitches in and step away for a few moments before coming back here in the top of the 7th inning. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as the number 3 hitter in the lineup. TJ Friedman steps up to the plate. He's 0 for 2 and will face the new pitcher, the southpaw Jack Johnson from UC Riverside. First pitch is a off-speed pitch that hangs high for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Well, Jack Johnson, when you look at his strikeouts per innings pitched, the ratio is pretty ridiculous. 19 2/3 innings and 27 strikeouts as this one misses high and away for ball 2. 2-0 the count. 2.75 ERA. 1.58 whip. But Jack Johnson has been a little bit shaky over the last week or so. Ground ball foul down the third base line. 2-1 the count. And maybe it's just because he missed like a week or two in the season and then came back. And guys were starting to hit him around a little bit over his last few outings. But we still mention how great the strikeouts and innings are. Also, still only a 2.75 ERA. This one blown by the hitter, and it's 2-2 here for Johnson. So it'll be interesting to see if Jack Johnson maybe is in here now to probably close the door for the rest of the game. Entering in the top of the 7th with 2 outs in a 2-0 game. Pirates leading the Dodgers. Fastball called strike 3, and down goes the hitter Friedman. So it remains a constant with Jack Johnson, just the fact that he is able to get those strikeouts anytime he wants. And it is now time to stretch here at Cal Poly Pomona with a 2-0 game. Pirates leading the Dodgers. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. To the bottom of 7 we go. 2-0 the score. Pirates on top of the Dodgers. Here comes Michael Johnson for his first at-bat of the day. Swings and misses at the first pitch he sees from John Anderson, and it's 0-1 here. So Michael Johnson will come in for Kyle Garlick, who finishes 0 for 2. Here's the 0-1. This one is lined into right field, and will it get over the head? No, the catch will be made out there in right by Devon for the first out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. So that's 5 consecutive retired here for John Anderson, who has gone the entire way for the East LA Dodgers. Now here comes Anthony Virgin. Anthony Virgin, of course, coming in for Johnny Reynoso in the field in the last inning, over there at the hot corner at third base. Here's the first pitch that he sees, and it's called a strike on the inside, 0-1. Well, for the Pirates, they're hoping to complete the 4-game sweep for the season against the Dodgers. And it's 0-2 now as another breaking pitch comes inside for a called strike to Virgin. Meanwhile, the Dodgers only trailing by 2, hoping to maybe score a few runs. This one's lined into left field, and that'll get past the outfielder and go all the way to the wall. Rounding first and headed into second with a stand-up double is Anthony Virgin. So Virgin blasting one right down that left field line. Originally, or initially, it looked like the left fielder maybe had a chance. It was struck very hard, and it was absolutely blasted by Anthony. And then the ball got by the outfielder, but he was playing so deep that he got it in pretty quickly. Otherwise, and it's hard to get a triple when you hit it to left field anyways, but as we mentioned, that was just a line drive rocket down that left field line for a stand-up double. Here is Varela, Channing Varela, for his first at-bat of the game. He takes upstairs for ball 1, 1-0 the count. He replaces Kyle Jackson. Kyle Jackson finishing 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. Runner off with the pitch, and this one misses low, and there's not even going to be a throw down to third base as Anthony Virgin steals third. So now only 90 feet away is Virgin from increasing this to a 3-0 ball game as the infield for the Dodgers comes in on the grass. This one is swung off the edge of the bat by Varela. Foul ball. On deck is Alec Morabito, one of the few guys who remained in the lineup. Morabito actually shifting from right field into first base. 2-1 the count here for Varela. Varela, this is a big situation. Just don't even need to necessarily get a hit, but he has a hit. He blasted in the left field, and that'll be an RBI single scoring Anthony Virgin. And now he's headed into second base. The throw coming to second, not in time. So that's going to actually be an RBI double by Channing Varela, who blasted it in the left field gap. And initially it looked like maybe it would just be a single, but he was sprinting the whole way, and the throw didn't get there in time. In fact, the cutoff man let it go. He probably should have tried fielding and flipping it over to second base, but he didn't do it. And it's another double for the Pirates. This one's low and away. Ball 1, 1-0 the count. So Anthony Virgin scoring to make it 3-0 on the RBI double by Varela. As we are going to have our first real mound visit of the day for John Anderson. And the visit's only from the catcher, Vega. It's not from one of his coaches. Anderson starting the game, doing a good job at holding the Pirates to only 3 runs so far. We talked about it. This is a very good lineup. Swung on a miss, strike 1 here to Alec Morabito. Morabito 1 for 2. Had an RBI single and scored in the 5th. And also grounded out into a double play back in the 2nd inning. Anderson comes set, fires. This one swung on and fouled straight back, and that'll be strike 2, 0-2 the count. On deck is Dylan Lowenstein. Lowenstein came in the last inning as a replacement in the field for Christian Kelly. Here's the 0-2. And that one missed way high and in for ball 1, 1-2 the count. As it looked like he kind of lost the handle, did John Anderson, the pitcher for the Dodgers. We talked about this is the East LA Dodgers. Well, he pitches for East LA College, so he's an East LA type of guy. Fastball swung on a miss, strike 3. Down goes Morabito. That'll be the second out of the inning, as Dylan Lowenstein comes to the plate. Dylan Lowenstein obviously coming in for Kelly, so Kelly's day is over. He finished 0 for 2. Lowenstein's a guy who actually has an agent and has acted and been in commercials, including a McDonald's commercial. He takes high and away, ball 1, 1-0 the count. On deck is Jason Padlo, and then Nolan Henley in the hole. Should a couple guys reach base here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 1 run in already, increasing the score to 3-0. Swung on a miss, 1-1 the count to Lowenstein. The 1 run came in on an RBI double by Channing Varela. That was directly after a double by Anthony Version. So 2 extra base hits. Big extended lead out there at second base for Varela, but decided not to go when the catcher blocked the ball at home plate. 2-1 the count as the pitch missed low for a ball to Lowenstein. Channing Varela, speaking of him, the man on second base who had the RBI double, he has been seeing the ball very well over the last week and a half, 2 weeks. And I believe we just had catcher interference called. And I think that's the first time we've seen that all season long. And so now Dylan Lowenstein will head to first base on the catcher's interference. And now it looks like John Anderson will be lifted from the game as his manager, Coach Quintero, is coming out there and checking over towards the third base bullpen to see if his pitcher out there is ready. But he's not asking for the ball yet, as the entire infield meets the pitcher and Coach Quintero, and actually he's going to leave him in. So it looks like John Anderson will get the respect or the luxury of trying to finish out this 7th inning here for the Dodgers. 3-0 the score. 2 men on base, 2 outs. And Jason Padlo at the plate. Padlo hasn't been retired yet. He walked in the 3rd inning and had the RBI single in the 5th inning. If you remember on that play, there was a play at the plate, and the catcher couldn't handle the ball. But obviously you can't say that it was an error and not an RBI. Here's the pitch from Anderson. And this one is lined into the center field. And the catch will be made out there. Doing a nice job was the Lancaster. At first glance, I thought it might get down for a base hit. The Lancaster making the catch and retiring Padlo to finish off the bottom of the 7th inning. But the Pirates do get 1 run on 2 hits, 2 extra base hits at that, and it's now 3-0, Pirates leading the Dodgers. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the top of the 8th inning. 3-0 the score, Pirates leading the Dodgers. Here comes the cleanup hitter Giovanni Quintero, and then it's Andrew Bojorquez and Cody Ramirez due up in this inning. 4, 5, and 6 going against Jack Johnson. First pitch called strike 1, and it's 0-1 here for the UC Riverside southpaw. Johnson 6'0", 190. Here's the 0-1. Breaking pitch that hangs high and in for ball 1, 1-1 the count. Hometown is Riverside and went to J.W. North High School, where he won a CIF championship. This one misses high for ball 2, 2-1 the count. Along the way, he threw a 1-hitter against Jay Serra in the playoffs to help get his team over to that CIF championship. Fastball bounced to the right side. The catch is made by Morabito. Morabito throws to Johnson, and they make the play over there at first base. Nice job covering first by the southpaw Johnson. So 1 up and 1 down here in the 8th inning. It was Jordan Sheffs who started the game off and only pitched 1 inning. Actually allowed the first 2 to reach base, but then retired the next 3. Then Ryan Romero, he went 4 1/3 innings and struck out 4, no runs. In came Aaron Reynoso. He went the next inning and a third, also allowing no runs. All of these pitchers have that in common when it's a 3-0 ball game. But Aaron Reynoso came in, as we mentioned, and actually struck out the first 2 hitters he saw. Called strike at the knees, 0-1 the count. And here's Jack Johnson, who came in for the last hitter in the 7th, struck him out, and retired the first hitter here in the 8th. Big breaking ball misses low for ball 1, 1-1 the count. Figure that maybe this will be Jack Johnson's day to finish, although we did mention Brett Early is here, so Brett Early might pitch the last inning. Not sure yet, as this one misses high for ball 2, 2-1 the count here to Andrew Bojorquez. He's 0 for 2, although he did hit a line drive through the right side hole into right field. There's one that's fouled out of play down the first base line. And Alec Morabito actually threw him out at first. Morabito is now actually at first. He started the game in right field, though. And he threw him out at first base. The 9-3 put out. Here's the pitch. Ooh. That was a wicked breaking pitch. And it was called a ball. Not exactly sure where it missed, and it's now a full count. I mean, that thing bit so hard. Here is the payoff pitch from Johnson. Fastball called strike 3 on the outside corner, and that is strikeout number 2 for Johnson against just 3 hitters he's faced. And we talked about it when he came in for that last hitter in the 7th inning, how many strikeouts he has. He had 27 strikeouts in 19 2/3 innings pitched. So now in 20 2/3, he's got 29 strikeouts. Fastball swung and fouled straight back at the screen. 0-1 the count here to Cody Ramirez, who's 0 for 2, struck out in the 2nd and flew out to right field in the 5th. Well, for the Pirates, they're hoping to get win number 20 on the season. They are 19-5 coming into today. Swung on a miss, strike 2, 0-2 the count. And they are just 4 outs away from accomplishing that goal. Johnson shakes off the catcher's signs. That, of course, is Dylan Lowenstein, and now fires a fastball, I believe. Couldn't quite tell because it was bounced so far away from home plate. Just making it off the edge of the infield grass and at the beginning of the dirt. And it's 1-2 here for Jack Johnson. Johnson hoping to strike out his 3rd hitter against only 4, and he blows a fastball by the hitter, and that is strike 3. So 4 hitters Johnson faces and strikes out 3 of them, and we'll head to the bottom of the 8th inning in a 3-0 ball game. Pirates leading the Dodgers. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th inning in a 3-0 game. Pirates leading the Dodgers. We have a new pitcher, that is Mitchell Shigo, a right-handed pitcher from Citrus College. He actually started the game as an extra hitter for the Dodgers, as the first pitch misses low for ball 1. 1-0 the count here to Nolan Henley. Henley 0 for 2. Couple ground outs to the left side, 1 to the shortstop and 1 to the 3rd baseman. This one comes inside, called strike 1, 1-1 the count to Henley. Henley walks out of the batter's box. Not sure if he didn't like the call or if that's just maybe a little bit of a routine that he has. Here's the 1-1 offering. Outside, ball 2, 2-1 the count. Nolan Henley, of course, playing in the SCIAC Conference, a very good D3 conference. Playing for University of Laverne, swings and misses at this one, well out of the zone and low, and it's 2-2. So maybe Henley guessing a bit, thinking on a 2-1, you got to come with a strike, because that pitch just on a 2-1 pitch, you just don't think that it's going to be that bad of a pitch. Called strike 3 on the inside corner, and Henley strikes out looking, and so he falls to 0 for 3 on the day. And here comes Greg Espinosa. Greg Espinosa is 1 for 3, singled in the first and flew out to center field back in the fourth and sixth. Both of the flyouts to center field were really lineouts to center field that he hit very hard, but pretty much right at the center fielder. First pitch misses low for ball 1. 1-0 the count. On deck is Nathan Virgin, and then Bryce Cherry as this one misses low for ball 2. 2-0 the count. Well, we talked about it in his first at bat, but he's among the leaders in the team in batting average with that 360 clip. Here's the pitch, and it misses. Oh, it's called a strike, and it's 2-1 to Espinosa. And really, probably his best day of the season was the doubleheader here on a Monday against the Palm Springs Power. Off-speed pitch misses inside, and it's 3-1. On that day, he went 5 for 7 against some of the best pitchers and pitching that he will see all season long. I mean, that day, the Power brought out a guy from San Diego State, Arizona, USC, and Santa Clara, as this one misses low and inside for ball 4. 5-pitch walk drawn by Espy as he heads down to first base on the walk. And here comes Virgin. Just talking about the level of competition and the level of pitching he saw that day, and to go 5 for 7 was very impressive for Espinosa. And here is Virgin. Virgin's 0 for 1, came in the 6th inning and grounded out to the shortstop. Here's the pitch, and it's a fastball in the dirt that misses for ball 1. Throw down to second base, not in time, as Espinosa gets in safely. On the wild pitch. 3-0 the score, bottom of the 8th inning. Pirates maybe hoping to put this game out of hand here, as this one's called a strike to Virgin, and it's 1-1. There haven't been that many save opportunities for the Pirates this season in general, but right now, if the Pirates weren't to score any runs, it would be a save situation. Fly ball lifted down the right field line and slicing foul and out of play for Nathan Virgin. Of course, if Jack Johnson remains in for the rest of the game, it's a safe situation anyways, because he's already in the game in a less than 3-run score, or a 3-run or less score. But I have a feeling that we might see early on in the 9th to maybe close this thing out for the Pirates. Well, he's had some very good history against these Dodgers. Greg Espinosa well off second base and was thinking of maybe even stealing third, and the shortstop having to yell at the pitcher to make sure that he was paying attention over to Espinosa at second. Now we have the second baseman covering a little bit, but not really. Breaking pitch misses inside for a ball to Nathan Virgin. So these two guys should be pretty familiar with each other, both attending Citrus College at one point. Not as sure if they attended at the same point, but obviously Nathan Virgin, being there the last couple of years, grounds this one to the left side. Backhanded attempt made by the shortstop, and he can't handle it. And that'll be an error out there at shortstop by Sotolongo. And now the Pirates have their second man on base here in the 8th inning with 1 out. Espinosa drew the 5-pitch walk and advanced to second on a wild pitch. And Virgin now at first after that error by the shortstop. And here comes Bryce Cherry. Bryce Cherry in for his second at-bat. In his first one, he flew out to left field. On deck is Michael Johnson. Here's the pitch, swung and fouled, out of play behind home plate. 0-1 the count here to Bryce Cherry. Cherry is the 6'1", 205 left-handed hitter from San Francisco State. Talked about him a little bit when Ryan Romero was pitching, because obviously they are teammates up there in Northern California. Breaking pitch misses low and it's 1-1. We also mentioned that they have 2 other teammates from San Francisco State on this team as well, and Corey Davis and Fernando Escobar. Neither Davis nor Escobar are here for this game today. Here's the 1-1, and this is lined up the middle for a base hit. Rounding third and going home is Greg Espinosa. The throw comes to home plate, but not in time, and it's 4-0. Now the throw is going to go down to second, and they have gotten the runner over at second base. That, of course, was Bryce Cherry, who lined it into center field, trying to advance to second on the throw home. A nice throw down there by the catcher to retire Cherry. But Cherry does get the RBI single that scored Espinosa, and now on third base is Nathan Virgin. That was the second out of the inning. So now it's 4-0 Pirates. No longer a safe situation should early come in. But I'm sure the Pirates would be thrilled with the fact that it's another run here, as this one misses high and into Michael Johnson for ball 1, 1-0 the count. I'm sure the Pirates are thrilled that it's 4-0, and it's a bigger lead as they head to the ninth inning. Swung on a miss, strike 1, 1-1 the count to Michael Johnson. He's 0 for 1. Flew out to right field and is only at bat so far in this game. Johnson, a major in kinesiology, aspires to be a physical therapist, as this one missed low for ball 2. 2-1 the count. Hometown Chino went to Don Lugo High School. There's a few guys that went to Don Lugo on the Inland Valley Pirates. Christian Kelly and both Virgin brothers as well. One of them on third base right now. That's Nathan. This one is cracked down the left field line. That's going up far away, and it's over the fence but foul, as Michael Johnson really got into that one. And that was just a line drive rocket, but just a little bit out in front of it. So if you could straighten that out, that would have been a no-doubter over the fence in left field. That's pretty much the only spot we've seen a ball hit out of all season long. We've seen 3 home runs hit this season, all 3 to left field, none to right or center. Of course, you hit it out of center. That is a major accomplishment. That is definitely a big fly. Now it's a 2-strike count, but you got to feel good about the way you hit that last one, even though it was foul. This one is swung on a fly ball into shallow center field, caught by the shortstop right behind second base for the final out of the inning. So down goes Michael Johnson, but the Pirates do get one more run in to make that score 4-0 now as we head to the top of the ninth. The Dodgers down their final 3 outs here at Cal Poly Pomona. Well, Jack Johnson has come out of the game, but I was wrong. It's not Brett Early. Well, I mean, I was just guessing it was Brett Early. I didn't see who it was going to be, but it will be Colin McKenzie to close this one out for the Pirates. So I guess Brett Early will have to wait till maybe tomorrow, as I see him kind of sitting on the bench there. I thought he might go because I thought Charlie said that before the game, but I guess deciding better of it, and obviously with 3 games in 3 days, they can definitely use him either tomorrow or the following day. First pitch misses for ball 1 from Colin McKenzie to Christian Vega. And it's 1-0. Breaking pitch called strike. 1-1. Colin McKenzie, 6'2", 240-pound right-handed pitcher from Citrus College, where he made 17 appearances this past season. 3-2 record, 3 saves, 3.86 ERA. Here's the 1-1, low and away, ball 2, 2-1 the count. Struck out 31 in 25 and 2/3 innings pitched for the Owls. So it was very, very effective. This one's bounced straight back at him on the 1 hop, and he catches and flips over to the first baseman Morabito for the first out here in the inning. So 1 up and 1 down here for Colin McKenzie. As we'll get Devon up now here, he's 0 for 2, 1 for 2. For the Dodgers. Colin McKenzie's major is film and went to Walnut High School. Not too far from here is Walnut. In fact, that's actually where Mount Sac is, which is the place that the catcher catching Colin McKenzie plays for. That is Dylan Lowenstein, about maybe a mile away from here. Ball 2 low, 2-0 the count. Well, for the Pirates, they're just 2 outs away from notching that 20th victory of the season. which is a good accomplishment, as this one misses high and away. Ball 3, 3-0 the count. Of course, the Pirates have a few more games really on their mind as we continue to go further on in this season. And those are the playoff games, as this one's called strike 1, 3-1 the count. This season in the SCCBL, the number 3 team will make the playoffs. So in all likelihood, depending on how the Power do, in all likelihood we figure that the Pirates will be the number 2 seed and host that first game here. So they'll have to take care of business in that first game, as this one's fouled back, and that'll be the second strike here. Then after that, they really have the Power on their mind and would love nothing more than to get a best-of-3 series against the Power, I should say. 2-strike count here for Colin McKenzie, in a game that has seen a lot of strikeouts for the Dodgers. Not as many as that first game. And this one is lifted to deep left field. Nolan Henley on his horse and makes a sliding grab out there in foul territory. What a play by Nolan Henley. And we talk about his speed all the time. But, I mean, the fact that he ran that baseball down and made a diving catch was very, very impressive right there, to say the least. And that's the second out here, as Corndondo comes to the plate, 1 for 2 for the Dodgers. Not only did Nolan Henley make a diving catch in foul territory, but he also had to go back a bit as well. He just really knows and has a great understanding of where that ball is going to end up. And this pitch is a breaking pitch low for ball 1, 1-0 on the count here. But when you have a guy like Nolan Henley out there in the outfield and Nathan Virgin, I mean, you could just pretty much throw in any of the guys. Matthew Reynoso is not here today, but another really good fielder out in the outfield. This one is grounded to the right side over towards Channing Varela. He fields cleanly and fires to Morabito for the final out of the inning and the final out of the game. So that'll do it for this game. Pirates improve to 20-5 on the season and get the 4-0 win against the Dodgers. No score for the first 4.5 innings, and then in the bottom of the 5th, Pirates came through with 2 runs. 2 runs scored on a one run scored on an RBI single by Alec Morabito, and it was Kyle Jackson who scored on that hit. The second run scoring on an RBI single by Jason Padlow, and Morabito scoring on the play. So that was 2-0. Then in the bottom of the 7th, the Pirates add up one more on 2 consecutive doubles. First one hit by Anthony Virgin. He scored on the RBI double by Channing Varela, and so that made it 3-0. And then in the 8th, tacking on one more were the Pirates, as Bryce Cherry came through with an RBI single up the middle that scored Greg Espinosa. So that was the 4 runs scored for the Pirates. Meanwhile, Pirates sending a lot of pitchers out there in this game. It was Jordan Shefts who started and only went 1 inning, struck out 1. Ryan Romero, he came in for 4 1/3, struck out 4, and earned the pitching decision, the pitching win. So he now improves to 3-0 on the season. Aaron Reynoso and Jack Johnson each going 1 1/3 will get the holds. And Colin McKenzie came in for the final inning. And because the Pirates tacked on one more in the 8th, Colin McKenzie does not get the save because it was a 4-run game as opposed to 3. So no save in this game for the Pirates. But I'm sure the Pirates will take the win, as we have the final guys shaking hands between the Pirates and Dodgers. And now the Pirates will head down the third base line to talk about this 20th victory. And, of course, as we mentioned, a couple more games coming over the next 2 days. Tomorrow the game starts at 4:30 in Long Beach, so it'll be the last road game of the season for the Pirates. Although, obviously, the Pirates are hoping that they still have at least one more road game after this one, because that would mean that you win the 2-3 play-in game, and then you're playing in the best-of-3 series against the Power. And regardless of seeding, whether you be the number 1 or 2 seed, you will play at least one road game in that series. So the Pirates hoping to make at least one more road trip on this season after tomorrow against Long Beach. Once again, that will be broadcast live at 4:30 tomorrow. And then we have another game against the Lancaster Rounders on Thursday. That'll be at 5 o'clock, right back here at Cal Poly Pomona. And then off until Sunday after the Thursday game, and then on Sunday it's an 11 a.m. start, so a very early start time for Sunday morning. And that game is against the OC Halos, and will also be live on our air on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Of course, I'm Dave Silberai on the play-by-play, saying as always, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow on InlandValleyBaseball.com.